Tonight, sweeping reforms in the NDC as the party directs all members occupying government offices, including ministers, CEOs and MDs of state institutions who want to contest any party position to resign 6 months clear to the 2026 internal elections.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. Reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're alone, one man no chop. What's your problem? What's your problem? In this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg there.
We'll give you details of the full election timetable as the NDC sets December 19 for its national executive elections.
For the Youth and the Women Conference, we are looking at Saturday, the 12th December 2026. The final one, which will be the main Congress to elect all of the national executives of the NDC in this very important year of our reorganization. That Congress will happen on Saturday, the 19th December 2026.
Stay for a breakdown of the party's internal election roadmap plus analysis in the next 30 minutes here on Top Story. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. My name is Fostina. Sarfo, please stay for details. Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, the National Democratic Congress is shaking things up. The party has directed all members eyeing party positions to resign from government appointments. According to the General Secretary, Fifi Fiavi-Kwete, this move forms part of a major reorganization and rebuilding exercise across all levels of the party. Ministers, deputies, CEOs and MDs of state institutions are expected to step down by mid-year. Let's listen to Fifi Kwete address a news conference earlier today at the party headquarters a while ago.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2, chairpersons or members of boards or persons in analogous positions are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected, and the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies or analogous officers; C, metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies or analogous officers; C, metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the 3 categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted, because there's no plea in this matter.
Well, my colleague James Aveji was at that news conference. He joins me in the studio with more. James, this is a big announcement coming from the party. We'll delve into the details of the full election timetable shortly, but I'm interested really in who exactly will be affected by this directive just coming in.
Well, Fostina, so a number of the party executives would be affected, except from the numbers or the various persons we have tracked down so far, except one, which is the national chairman of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is currently a board member of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. He will not be affected by this particular directive. But if you take persons like the National Communications Officer of the party, Sami Jemfi, who is currently serving as CEO of Goldbolt, he would be affected by this particular directive. And so if he is interested, he needs to resign by June of this year. Malik Basintali, who is the National Communications, also a Deputy National Communications Officer to Sami Jemfi, is currently serving as CEO of the YEA. And he is also expected to resign if he wants to contest for his position or any other position in the party. George Opariado, who is the national youth organizer of the party, is now the Minister for Youth. And he's also expected, youth development is also expected to resign if he wants to contest in this election. Osman Ayariga, who is the National Youth Authority boss, currently the Deputy National Youth Organizer to George Opariado, would also resign if he wants to contest in this election. Then the National Women's Organizer of the party, Dr. Hannah Bisiu, would also resign as administrator of the Minerals Development Fund if she wants to contest in this election. Last but not least is Ruth Della Sedo. He is the Director General of the National Sports Authority, currently serving as the Deputy National Youth Women's Organizer of the party. And so we have as much as 6-7 people who must resign from various positions if they want to contest in this particular election, except Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is the national chairman of the party.
But apart from what we heard Fifi say during the news conference, what other reason did they give for this directive?
I'm sure yourself, you are conversant with, talks in the party about how some of these persons are chopping, quote unquote, from left and right, 2 hands deep, when others are yet to get any appointment in the party. According to the General Secretary, Fifi Kwete, this move is not only to strengthen the party and strengthen party work, but to also curtail some of these incidents where some of these appointees are eating left and right while others are sitting at home without any form of appointment.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office, NDC has so many people. Our numbers are massive, millions of supporters. We have so many people capable of holding positions. It cannot be the situation where only 1 or 2 individuals are capable of holding both an appointed position in government and also a position at the level of the party. It just cannot be. God forbid. If any of us drop dead today, NDC has got so many more people who can hold our position and do an excellent job, if not even better job. So we must have the same principle at all moments. I think it's simply an issue of reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're alone, one man no chop. What's your problem? What's your problem? You know? So if you want to work for the party, you leave your position in government and come and contest and win. Then we know you are fully dedicated. But this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg there, even you notice, even constitutional review is even bringing a provision that even if you are a member of parliament, it's no more going to be permitted once it's approved for you to be both in parliament and in government at the same time. Why? You alone, why? So it's the same kind of principle. You want to work for the party, resign from whatever position you are, 6 months to time, and come and dedicate yourself and work for the party. The work for the party is a great work. Some of us, that's all we're doing. We are not in government, we are not holding in that position, fully dedicated to the party because that's a great job to be done. So if you feel that's a great job, join us and let's do that fully in order to help the country.
James still with me in the studio, and let's talk about the election schedule. What's the roadmap?
Well, Fostina, so before that, with regards to the resignations, there are timelines for the resignation. For instance, if you want to contest in the constituency elections, you are expected to resign by May 2026. If you want to contest in the regional election, you should be resigning. For constituency, you are expected to resign by April this year. For region, you are expected to resign by May this year. And then for the national elections, you are supposed to resign by June this year. Now, there are some key activities the party will be going through. First is the registration of new members of the party, and that is happening between the 10th of February to the 30th of March 2025, and this is happening at the branch levels of the party only. So that is the schedule for that. Then we go to the constituency elections. As far as the constituency election is concerned, opening of nominations will happen between 15th to 17th September 2026. And all of these activities, including the completion of forms, filing of nomination, vetting, appeals, would happen between then and the 24th and 25th of October 2026. So that is when the elections would happen, 24th and 25th of October 2026. If you go to the regional level, nominations will be open between 6th and 7th of October 2026. They will go through completion of forms, filing, vetting, appeals. Then the elections are in two parts. The first part is the youth and women organizer position elections, which will happen on the 13th of November 2026. Then the rest or the entire election would happen on the 14th and 15th of November 2026. The last one is the national executive election. Nominations will be opened on the 20th to 21st of October 2026. They would also go through the completion of forms, filing of forms. 14 days will be given for forms to be completed because they have to go around the country to seek for endorsement from various levels of the party. Filing will happen on 7th to 9th of November 2026. Vetting will happen on 12th to 13th of November 2026. Appeals will happen 15th and 16th of November. The Youth and Women Conference will happen on 12th December 2026. And then the National Congress will happen on the 19th of December 2026. So the Youth and Women Wing elections are separated from the rest of the elections. And by 19th of December 2026, all elections should be completed as far as the branch level constituency as well as the national, the region and national elections of the party are concerned, Fostina.
And there's also a directive to all constituency executives. What did they say?
Exactly. So the party general secretary identified what he called mafia tactics by some constituency executives, especially in order to skew the process in their favor to get themselves elected. So what they normally do is to conceal the process under darkness and will not get party members involved along the line. The directive to all of them is to make this transparent as possible by announcing every single date and venue of every meeting and party activity as far as the elections at the constituency level are concerned.
Under no circumstances should the membership number of a deceased member be transferred or swapped for a new registrant. I want to take that again. Under no circumstances should the membership number of a deceased member be transferred or swapped for a new registrant. Any branch found to have violated this directive will face the severest sanctions prescribed under the constitution of the party. The integrity of our register is non-negotiable. So if you feel the only way you can survive is to use mafia means, advise yourself and step aside. We don't want people who have no capacity to run correctly, run legitimately to win, to be part of our processes. So if the only way you can survive is mafia, maybe you look for the MPP. That's where the mafia things happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Thanks for staying with us here on Top Story. Let me bring in Mustafa Gbande, he's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. I also have with me Alhaji Haruna Muhammad, his Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, and as well Dr. Amachi Boateng, he's a political scientist at KNUSC, joins the conversation as well. I'll start with Mustafa Gbande. I'd like to clarify, first of all, has this decision been approved by the entire party, specifically the full membership of NEC?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished listeners. Our decisions and point of corrections are not approved by the entire party. We have colleges and caucuses at the levels of the party that approves our decisions. For this decision, it's prepared by FEC and then taken to NEC. So FEC is a functional executive committee of the party made up of national officers and then selected members from parliament and other representative groups. Then NEC is made up of regional reps who comes together for these decisions. So this particular one, which is the regulation of our reorganization 2026, was taken to NEC. It was deliberated upon and approved as a working document. And it's not a novelty. This is what we have been doing. The conventions will tell you that this is how we run our party.
Did every member of SEC and NEC approve these new guidelines that you put out today?
You do not need every member of SEC and NEC to agree with a decision in order for it to stand on an organization. You need a majority decision, and these documents or these roadmap have adequately gotten the decision of NEC.
So there were some members of the committee that disagreed with this.
It is not a committee. It's a meeting. And like I said, you do not need all manner of persons' endorsement of a decision in order for that decision to be approved. What you need is, at most, a majority decision at the point of tabling this matter for discussion.
So what you're telling me is that, indeed, there are members of the National Executive Committee who disagreed with this approval that you've put out today.
I may disagree with it, but it is not about me. It's about the body called NDC and our constitution mandating NEC to take steering decisions of the party, decisions that borders on the welfare of the party. And so that body met in Accra, consisting of FEC members, members of parliament on NEC, and then reps from every region, that is chairman, secretary, organizer, youth organizer, women organizer, Zongo caucus. They came together to constitute NEC. And so this decision was approved by NEC. If a member disagrees, that member is entitled to his right of opinion. But as long as it has the backing of majority of members present within the meeting at the time the table of discussion was put, I think that is a valid decision.
But given your role in the presidency, you could be affected. And so we're quite interested in their response. Did you get the full backing of every individual? Especially, did you even consult your members who currently hold government positions?
If I have to give way for the party to grow and be stronger, I have to exit. Number two, the decision was not taken as a punishment to members or to deny members the opportunity to enjoy double privileges. the contemplation of these decisions is to strengthen our party and also ensure that the workforce within the party who are currently supporting the president in discharging his mandate continue to do so with all the time that it requires, so that other badges of people who are on standby, those are called Team B or Team C or Team D, they can also roll themselves into positions of the party, and to ensure that the party is also functioning properly, so that we don't have a weaker party as opposed to a stronger government, or a stronger government and a weaker party.
You just tell us. You tell us that indeed there are some individuals who disagreed, even though they were not the majority. How do you plan to ensure internally that this does not even create deep-seated grievances within the ruling party?
No, like I tell you, we don't run a party with ultimate, agreement with all manner of persons. But if the decision is born out of good faith and the good interest of executing the objectives of the political party called the NDC, our members understand that we will take decisions in the interest of the growth and stability of our party. We'll take decisions in the interest of the members of the party who have mandated us to be officers of the party. And so they know, understand these things. And I don't think we'll get to the point where would see grievances and all sort of things. It doesn't mean that people may not have some sort of misgivings about party decisions. It will affect one person or the other, but it has to be implemented to the latter, because it's a decision that will strengthen our party. It's a decision that will strengthen, that will ensure that our party is strong, and so it's a good decision.
So will you even step down from your position that you hold in government?
I'm not in that category of persons who was captured by this decision. But if it has to affect me, I would then make a choice whether I want to remain as an aide or an officer of the presidency, or I have to be an officer of the party.
But we heard from Fifi today that only those 7 on boards, which are not like full-time jobs, that are exempted from this. So it means you may likely be affected.
It cannot be about me. This conversation is about asking you and telling you and our cherished listeners that the NDC have launched its guideline for 2026 reorganization, and as such will be required that all members will follow suit and follow the procedures that we have outlined as far as the reorganization process is concerned. That mechanism has a room to address grievances, to address all party members as we go along.
Stay with me, Mustafa. Let me bring in Dr. Machi Boateng. He's a political scientist at KNUST. He joins the conversation now. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. I'm wondering, could this decision even create tension or grievances within the NDC?
Thanks for having me. Let me say good evening to your listeners. Listening to Mr. Mustafa Bandi, I could see that what I call normal processes of politics took place. We are never going to have 100% support for any policies coming out of political parties. And political scientists agree that if you have 70 to 75% support, you are ready to go. So given that understanding, I like to believe that the majority that he's talking about was indeed that type of majority, 70, 75%, 80%. Once you have that majority, you are ready to go. Even if the dissenting view become bitter, the numbers tend not to be significant enough to affect the way the party should be run.
And what strategies can the NDC even adopt to maintain cohesion within the party?
It is to ensure that, in the first place, these rules and regulations that they are outlining are such that they don't necessarily, if you like, protect some people. They don't come out in a way to disaffect some people. They don't stand against their interests. Everybody in the political party has some interest. And so if a party doesn't come out with rules and regulations that sort of block, stand in the way of other people realizing their interest in the party is free to go. I like to believe that the rules are that free and they are not necessarily targeted at anybody, that they are targeted at making the party stronger at all times. That you can't abuse your office incumbency advantage in times of elections so you could take advantage of that. I think they are strengthening things to make sure that, you if you come up for any position, you know why you are doing that. And when the time comes for you to step aside to contest again, then you know that it is a fair principle. It works fairly for everybody. I think this is what will hold the party together and a strict implementation or application of these rules.
Okay, let me bring in Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. We appreciate your time. Now, your biggest competitor, they're using the bottom-up approach. And is this something that would be of concern to you internally, especially because you are using the top-bottom approach?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I say good evening to your cherished listeners and those of your followers on social media. And good evening to my colleague Mustafa Bandi and the lecturer who has just spoken from Penn University. I don't know which of the bottoms we are talking about. Our party has not adopted any top-bottom approach or bottom-up approach.
But then you're electing your flag bearer first, even before you do your constituency and national executives election. And so that's a top-bottom approach. But they are taking it from the bottom-top approach. They are electing the executives before.
That is your approach. There is nothing like top-bottom approach from our party. So that is why I'm going to clarify that point to you. The election of the
Are you threatened by this approach? Briefly.
It's your approach. We have not, as a political party, done what you have called top-bottom down approach. We don't have such an approach. And we don't have a bottom-up approach. I am telling you that the election of the flag bearer is a stand-alone election in the structure of the New Patriotic Party. And that is why it's contained in Article 13 of the party's constitution. The structure of the party is situated in Article 5, where we have the various structures that have been put in. So the election of the flag bearer is a stand-alone, and that is why there are 8 conditions in the statutes of the New Patriotic Party as to when such elections are being done. So it should not be misconstrued to indicate that we are starting from the top to come to down. There is nothing like that in our party, and we have not adopted.
So is this how yours will also, the approach the NDC is taking, where executives will have to resign? Is that the approach you will take?
I think their call is too late. If you remember in Legon, on the 19th of July, we did a constitutional amendment. In that particular amendment, we clearly indicated that all persons who are holding party positions who are appointed into government must resign. And we inked this into the constitution on that particular day. But we have so implemented that even once we're in government, the general secretary today was a CEO. After winning as a general secretary, he was made to resign. The national organizer today was youth organizer. When he was a deputy executive director of NSS, when he won his elections, he was made to resign. There are a host of others I can keep on to count, because we have to separate the role of the party leader and the role of person who is performing in government. So it is too late in the day, but we applaud them for instituting that. But what I would call the NDC
briefly,
that
30 seconds.
They should ask Mustafa Bandi to resign as Deputy Director of Operations. They should ask the women organizer to resign from MIF and then stay as no organizer or stay in that particular position. They should ask Sami Demke to resign. They should hold one position so that they can be accountable to the good people of Ghana. These are the key points that we want them to do. They should be bold enough as they have come out to say this. And we applaud them, but they should inch further to be able to bring accountability to the good people.
Okay, let me wrap up with Mustafa Bandi, 30 seconds. Now, we just heard from Haruna Mohammed. They are impressing upon you to resign. Is this something you consider?
Well, the MPP would not be our yardstick as far as managing our party is concerned. And impressing upon me to resign or just underscores the fact that they are scared of me. The MPP is uncomfortable with the name Gandhi Mustafa, so they will do everything possible. But to their surprise, their call will fall in water because I am not affected by that decision. If I am affected, I will resign. If I have to resign, or I will be in government. Wherever I will be, the MPP will not see peace in this country, as far as I'm concerned. So whichever way it is, they shouldn't focus on me. But the beauty of it is that we have demonstrated democratization of our party.
Okay.
We have demonstrated will. We have demonstrated capacity and authority. Currently, they have imported a strange way of organizing their party. We are looking at how it will end.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Fagbande. He's Deputy General Secretary for the NDC. I've also engaged Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, as well as Dr. Machi Boateng, political scientist at KNUST. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Up next is Newsnight.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Newsnight. This bulletin is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and on over 30 affiliates across the country. Coming up tonight, Special Prosecutor breaks silence on calls to abolish his office, describing the attempts as sponsored by hundreds of people under investigation by the office. We have details from the half-yearly report of the OSP, in which he also strongly pushes back on any attempt to subsume his office under that of the Attorney General. Also tonight, the NPP serves notice it will not tolerate any unauthorized security presence at voting or collation centers during Saturday's presidential primaries, insisting that only the Ghana Police Service has the mandate to provide security.
And so it's not such a big deal to us because we know that's exactly what will happen.
It's a satisfactory arrangement. We are pleased to hear that.
And even going further to tell us that they've given the police a mandate to be ruthless, and therefore every security detail will be handled by the police.
We'll also bring you up to speed on the campaigns of the candidates as they make last-ditch attempts crisscrossing the country to sway delegates as they prepare to bring their campaigns to an end.
Opportunity. Chance.
God is going to give me a big win next weekend.
January 31st, yeah, party Dachinti, Kai, Dr. Yang Osei Educhum.
The real poll will be on the 31st of January.
And later on, onion sellers at Ajen Kotoku and commuters decry deplorable road network on Media Kotoku stretch. More in our feature series, Roads of Peril, as they call for swift government intervention in business.
Chamber of Petroleum Consumers warn crude prices could hit $100 a barrel if the current tensions between US and Iran is not resolved soon.
And in sports,
we'll hear from Roads Minister Honorable Kwame Govins Abuja as he rallies the public ahead of the Joy FM walkout set for this Saturday.
And on the back of that, get ready to sweat. Joy FM's Fitness Fiesta is back this Saturday with an aerobic session to tackle lifestyle diseases. We'll hear from the Roads Minister Governs, Kwame Agbuja, who's throwing his weight behind this big event. You can join us with your comment via WhatsApp line 055-1111-997. I am Pearl Ofori. You're welcome.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter, Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello, sir. Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones.
We keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
You're welcome back. Tonight, Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabin has broken his silence and for the first time is speaking about the calls to abolish his office. The Special Prosecutor describes the calls and moves as a politically motivated one, sponsored by hundreds of people who are being investigated by his office. Last year, the Majority Leader Mahama Yariga led his chief whip to present a private member's bill to abolish the office during a period dominated by calls to scrap the corruption-fighting institution. Well, the draft bill was later withdrawn at the request of the president. Now, in his half-yearly report, the Special Prosecutor also speaks about proposals to merge the office with the AG's department. And Akweku Asante of our Legal Affairs has been combing through the 68-page report and joins me in the studio with details. Kweku, first, the OSP, of course, pulls no punches in going off on calls to scrap his office. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Pearl, right from the start of this half-yearly report, in fact, it starts with a statement by the Special Prosecutor, and then he goes ballistic right from the very start. He starts by saying that the second half of 2025 tested the OSP in existential and continuity ways few periods have. It was marked by extreme resistance by those justly threatened by accountability. The pushback against scrutiny came in several forms, including the introduction of a private member's bill in Parliament aimed at abolishing the office and subsuming its mandates and powers under the office of the Attorney General. The bill was subsequently promptly withdrawn on the back of a call by the President for its withdrawal. The President, he says, the office highly commends the President, the nation, and the nation has His Excellency to thank for that swift and decisive call for the withdrawal of the bill. The President's action stamped firmly the well-considered collective wisdom stated in some of these things. Then he goes on to actually make this very damning allegation about what he believes to have been the undertones and the reasons why people have been doing this. He says that the calls for the office's abolishment is sponsored by certain people that the office is actually investigating. He says it is a political call that was not well intended in terms of the office of the Special Prosecutor. He goes on to cite some of the kind of challenges that the office of the Special Prosecutor had been facing, for which reason he really believed that the public should have been giving him the support that he deserved, only for some persons or some sections of the public to turn around and actually demand that that office be scrapped. So that is the Special Prosecutor holding no punches there and really insisting that the office has come to stay and Ghanaians ought to support it.
So, Kweko, he also speaks about the proposals to merge the OSP with the AG's department. He's clear that it's not workable to fighting corruption.
Yes.
Why?
Again, he talks about the fact that the office of the special prosecutor that he leads is not one that is trying to avoid accountability. In fact, it welcomes scrutiny. And to quote him, this is attested by his assiduous attendance to the business of the relevant committees in Parliament and accountability institutions, and the openness with which it conducts its activities. However, a careful examination of the stated reasons for the calls to abolish the office clearly are most unfair and are those that are advanced without any reference to actual performance of the office and its demonstrated impact since its inception. This is the part that has to do with the Attorney General. It talks about the fact that the memorandum accompanying the bill that Mahama Yarga and co-sponsored cited persistent operation challenges experienced in the establishment of the OSP, including the duplication of prosecutorial functions between the OSP and the Attorney Generals, institutional friction, judicial overlap, administrative inefficiencies, and high operational cost. Then he goes on to talk about the fact that the Attorney General's office itself has some challenges, for which reason merely subsuming the role of the OSP and that office will be very challenging. He talks again that the Attorney General is a cabinet minister, a politician for that matter. And when you look at the Ghana's fight against corruption, the big challenge really has been politicians prosecuting their colleague politicians.
Yes.
How is the Attorney General sitting in cabinet going to be prosecuting other members of the cabinet, for instance, if corruption comes up? So again, the OSP makes a rebuttal when it comes to some of those reasons, and then lists them in this half-yearly report.
Well, he also recounts a few things that they've been doing in the second part of 2025. Walk us through that.
I think this part is dominated really by the work the OSP has done with the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited deal, the SML deal, which has in fact led to some cases being filed in court against the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. In fact, it is one of the chief reason for which reason the country is seeking the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta from the US. And in fact, that matter came up for hearing at the High Court today, and it was adjourned for CMC in February because of some documents that are yet to be filed in court and also to be served on Ken Ofori-Atta and Mr. Akori, who are currently outside the country. So he talks about all the facts and says that the OSP, as far as they are concerned, they are not really fazed by the calls to abolish it. So long as they continue to stay in that office, they are going to deliver on their responsibilities. They are going to keep up in the fight against corruption, regardless of whose ox may be God.
Thank you very much, Kweko Asante. He's a member of our Legal Affairs Desk. Let's go on the phone lines and speak to private legal practitioner Martin Pewe. Good evening. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Good evening, Pearl.
Well, you've had, I don't know whether you've seen the 68-page report by the OSP. Have you seen it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm sure you've gone through contents of, but let's focus on a few things that he's saying. Let's first start with what he says, that the calls to abolish his office are politically motivated and sponsored by hundreds of people who have been investigated by his office. You have been very critical of the OSP Kisi Ejaben. What's your response to this?
I mean, a public officer doesn't write like what is done. Now he's inviting critical minds to invite him to give the details. And we have to hold him, to those statements. He must give the details of those people he suspects have sponsored the deal. He must do. That's how the last time he came, during Akufo-Addo's regime, came and gave us innuendos, never gave details. But it turned out that he himself was either actually aiding corruption. He sat on the Ofori-Atta case, allowed Ofori-Atta to run from Ghana before he started investigations. So we will not take such statements from Kisi Ejaben anymore. He must give specifics. He came and sang, Ankwa Numa, all that. But it turned out that he was shielding persons who were accused of corruption. The document is there. Pearl, I don't know if you've seen it. After this, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. Manasseh produced it, Manasseh Azuri Awuni, showing that the investigations into SML started on the 29th of January 2025, after Ofori-Atta had bolted. So this shouldn't be coming from Kisi Ejaben. No, enough of the asking for too much sympathy. I mean, I was shocked that he could put that into writing without bringing the details. He is a public officer, so the stakes are different. That's how a few months ago, he ran down NIB, that's BNI, ran down Immigration Service, ran down National Security, that they didn't help him to arrest Ofori. Yet, right now, I'm in possession of 2 letters from NIB and National Security saying that he didn't come there to ask for help to arrest Ofori. So Kisi is giving away to making exaggerated and false statements. These are sufficient for him to be sacked from that office. He talks without evidence. You see, he said it. NIB, he went to NIB, they didn't help. He went to National Security, they didn't help. I have the responses from NIB and National Security. He said he didn't come there. So we can't take him serious. No, we can't take him serious. He must give us the names of those people he said are sponsoring the bill so that we will go into it.
Okay.
Yes.
Martin, I get the impression that you don't side with the OSP, but one of the things he mentions is that he's against proposals to merge the Office of the Special Prosecutor with the AG's department. He believes that is not a workable solution to fighting corruption.
So that's a different matter. Yes, that one, to be consistent and fair, when this matter came up, yes, I said I also don't support it, except that, so meaning that let's look at how to make the Office of Special Prosecutor stronger. Because right now, Kisi Ejabin-Stena has taught us that just separating or creating OSP by itself doesn't fight corruption. If you don't have the right caliber, Kisi is not the right caliber to fight corruption. So just separating the 2 offices doesn't do anything for our democracy. It's about the caliber of the person, the manager. He, Kisi, is shown that he's aided Ofori to run away. Ofori, who has 5 cases on his head, right? So what we should be doing is that the weaknesses, number one, I mentioned that he suppressed cases that concern his friends and former clients, right? He sits on those cases, he doesn't investigate so that it gives them opportunity to run away, right? And there are other cases. There's an NLA case. Kisi Ejabin was counsel for the company when Martin Amidu was a special prosecutor. When Kisi became special prosecutor, that was the end of that case. If you Google, you even see Bryce Simmons comment about that case. Many other cases, we don't have time to go into that. So Kisi Ejabin has shown us that everything boils down to the caliber of the person you appoint. The caliber is very, very important. You don't have the right special prosecutor and you are finished because he influences everything. So we need to change the law so that henceforth, when a petition is presented to that office, the petition goes to a committee. Kisi alone should be, the special prosecutor alone should not be the one to see it. It's a committee. We must know who are the members of the committee publicly. And of course, not just, we need achievers, people who have high levels of integrity, etc. They would be on the committee. Maybe make it 12, like the 12 apostles, so that when the number is great like this, it's very unlikely that 12 people will collude to sit on a petition like Kisi has been doing. That's one reform we need. So, Pearl, the point we are making is that now that Kisi Ejabin is reacting this way, he disagrees with the merging of OSC with Attorney General, which I agree with. The lesson to be learned is that we need to change the OSC law, make it better, to reduce corruption by the SP himself. That's the message. That's
Very
what
well.
you should have understood.
Very well.
So we need those reforms. Oh, there are more. Can you give me 1 more minute to wrap up?
Yes, Martin, briefly.
Yes. So second point is that with that done, you also need to change the law, okay, so that when the special prosecutor is investigating corruption and he sees, let's say, money laundering, he should not have to give up the file to go and give Iyoko, like what he had to do in the Sicily Adapa matter. Then the file was taken to Iyoko, and then Attorney General went and influenced Iyoko that there's no need to investigate, etc. Then we lost everything. So we'll make the law in such a way that if you're investigating corruption and you come upon money laundering, go ahead. Okay? Many other changes, change the reverse bidding, etc. So we need to change the OSP law. That much we need to.
Martin, and then your final comment. What do you expect from the OSP this year? Briefly, please.
That, look, we should table amendments. And I'm expecting that my petition will succeed So from that office, I expect that Kiki Jabin will be sacked, right? That's through the trial. I presented a petition to Chief Justice, the President. The President is forwarded to Bafu Boni, Chief Justice. So I'm expecting that any moment from now, we will hear the fate of the petition because it's been more than 30 days. The law says that the petition I presented cannot stay with Chief Justice for more than 30 days. To be practical, I know this is Ghana, so I gave 8 days for Christmas and New Year. That's 4 days for Christmas celebrations, 4 days for New Year. So this week onwards, I'm pressing that Chief Justice Bafu Boni should come out with the decision. And we should even also amend the law when we present petitions. If we want to block out the whole of Christmas vacation from counting of the 30 days, let's do so. But currently, under the law that I presented, they just said 30 days. They didn't make exceptions for vacation. But in court, we are used to vacations.
Martin,
so if you want to...
Martin, I'll have to come in. Would have to leave the conversation here for now. As always, it's good to speak to you. That's Martin Pebu. He's a private legal practitioner. Now, tonight, the new Patriotic Party has issued a strong warning ahead of its presidential primary, saying it will not tolerate any unauthorized security presence at voting or collation centres. The party insists only the Ghana Police Service has the mandate to provide security for Saturday's exercise. The warning comes as a raid to lead the NPP enters its final stretch, with 5 flag-bearer hopefuls making last-minute moves to sway delegates ahead of Decision Day. In a statement, the party instructed the police to take charge of the elections. My colleague Michael Ashali joins me in the studio with details of that statement. Michael, who is not allowed at the various polling stations?
Well, so according to the party, it states that unequivocally that it will not tolerate the presence, deployment or activities of non-uniformed plainclothes or otherwise unauthorized security personnel deployed by national security or any other institution at any voting center, collation point, or any activity connected to the point of the primary. The NPP tells us that they have information that some elements within the national security have plans to deploy unauthorized operatives. Any attempt by national security or any other unauthorized body to deploy operatives to the election will be treated as a deliberate and unlawful intrusion into the internal democratic process of the party with a clear potential to disrupt or manipulate the election. It goes on to conclude and says that NPP will not hesitate to invoke all lawful remedies available to it to protect the integrity of its process, and any unauthorized presence will be challenged and resisted within the bounds of the law. It goes on finally to repose confidence in the Ghana Police Service that they have so far shown enough capacity and professionalism, and we therefore expect the police to enforce this directive strictly and without compromise.
Michael Ashade, thank you so much for bringing us that statement from the police. National organizer of the NPP, Henry Nanabuachi, joins me on the phone with more details. Good evening and thank you for your time here on Newsnight. Nanabuachi, are there any exceptions to this directive from the police?
Thank you very much, Pearl. I think the only exception, the last time we had a stakeholders meeting, the police informed us that they have invited the military to be part of their operations within the Boko enclave. And it's for obvious reasons, for security reasons. So that is the only place, I think, the Boko enclave. Apart from that, the party through the Presidential Elections Committee has notified everybody that the security regarding these elections is solely in the bosom of the Ghana police. And so far, as indicated in the statement, the IGP and his men, IGP Yoguno, they've displayed enough capacity and also shown that professionalism that they are in charge of the security regarding the elections. We have information that certain elements within the national security they are seeking to deploy some men to cause some disruptions and mayhem here and there. Look, we have had an extensive discussion and engagement with the Ghana police.
Okay.
The only body mandated to handle the security aspect of these elections is the Ghana Police and no other institution. We do not expect any person to hold himself up as being deployed from a certain institution aside Ghana Police. So this is a caution, and we are aware that the Ghana Police is up and doing. They are going to do what they are supposed to do to make sure that this thing doesn't happen.
So you have utmost confidence in the Ghana Police Service to provide security for that day. But let's talk about preparations for the primaries. How prepared is the party for Saturday's exercise?
Very much prepared, and so far I'm happy that all the presidential aspirants, they have all displayed their satisfaction regarding the conduct and operations of the Presidential Elections Committee. At the last stakeholders meeting, all the aspirants, through their reps, indicated to the body that they are very much confident in the work they've done so far. Again, at the Peace Pact, the event we just had last week, everybody was cooperative. And that is how we, as a party office, we are happy. In fact, we have promised that we are going to make sure that we create free, fair, transparent, peaceful, playing ground for everybody, for every aspirant. And so far, I think that we have achieved that. What is important is on the D-Day. That is the most important, and that is why we are also telling the Ghana Police that they are in charge of the security. We do not expect anybody to be there. Poll starts at 7 a.m., closes at 2 p.m. We have a setup at the party headquarters where we'll be waiting for the Electoral Commission again. The Electoral Commission is the only body mandated to declare the official results. After the declaration, we will have the newly elected presidential candidate outdoored at the party's headquarters, and then the newly elected presidential candidate will also give his speech at the party headquarters as well. So we are fully prepared, and I'm happy that all the aspirants so far, they have displayed enough confidence. They have shown that satisfaction in the operations and the conduct of the Presidential Elections Committee.
Henry Nanabuache is the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Let's stay on the story because the various campaign teams of the presidential candidate have welcomed the NPP's directive that only the Ghana Police Service will provide security for its January 31 presidential primary after the party warned that any national security or other unauthorized operatives will be barred.
Well, I believe the party had to do this because of some of the utterances and some of the comments by some other aspirants. But from our side, we had no such plans because we've been through this process before, and we know that there is no need. You would not have any reason to have any extra security at the constituency conference, and so it's not such a big deal to us because we know that's exactly what will happen.
The chair for the committee assured us about the maximum protection for the whole process, and even going further to tell us that they've given the police a mandate to be ruthless, and therefore every security detail will be handled by the police. And that was followed up with the police themselves.
It's a satisfactory arrangement. We are pleased to hear that. But most important is that we've been part of this consultation and engagement from day one, so it doesn't come as a surprise. And so for us, and we take the opportunity to even commend the IGP and the Presidential Election Commission, and of course the EC as well, especially when it comes to the security arrangement they've done so far. We commend them. We welcome it.
So we've also been tracking down what the candidates have been saying in the dying minutes of their campaign. Let's listen to former Education Minister Yao Osei Edichum.
I did a campaign devoid of insults. I will be your unifier. I'm the one who can unify the party. But when you elect me, nobody's going to say because of what he said and how he insulted my leader, the person that I loved and voted for, I'm not going to follow him. So that is something good that I will assure you that we'll have a unified party going into the 2028 election. To my brothers and sisters, working people of Ghana, I believe that our nation must ensure that workers have livable wages. Livable wages are wages that take care of you and your family. You're able to take care of your family, pay fees and other things, and be able down the line to own a car, own a home. That is what happens in most countries that are emerging out of poverty. So livable wages is something that we need to work on as a nation. And I'm going to champion it, and I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Let's also listen to former Vice President Dr. Bawumia, who has outlined a decentralized appointment policy which will ensure that each constituency would be allocated a minimum of 10 government appointments.
But appointments no, me share appointments no, targeting appointments no to strengthen the constituencies. President, bet me yes appointments ye. Now constituencies be wa bakupo omunya. Na ebana sano constituencies no any ahoden. Constituencies no any ahoden. Me pese 7,000 appointments ye. Me use sa appointments ye. Emma constituencies no ahoden.
Well, elsewhere, former Greek Minister Brian Champon has told delegates that he is the only candidate that can unify the party after the primaries if he's elected flag bearer.
Meaning, sir, maybe a party not do no. Meaning, sir, ube to abama me. Nemo misrao sir. Me pesa 2-3 days ya kei. Ube kame ho. Na ya campaign ne muotene. Na ya timidi winning emphatically. Me wajidi sir. Abatu ono die. Onyankopon besha ne ho anyonyam. Eso asante mai misremo. Monya regional eba be di me victory nanim. Na me timidi tumi no abaya sasi so.
Well, now let's connect with the flag bearer hopefuls as they make their last-minute moves to sway delegates ahead of decision day. We've been joined via telephone by Dennis Miracles Abuaje. He speaks for Dr. Bawumia, and also Kwesi Kwarteng. He speaks for Kennedy Japan. Good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for your time here on Newsnight. I'd like to start with you, Dennis. Where are you on your campaign?
Well, we're wrapping up, like the Riley said. We currently are preparing. And basically that's what we're doing. As a campaign, we are mindful of the fact that the last 48 hours are very crucial, and so we need to ensure that we don't leave any loose ends, and we have every corner. So we are open up and making sure that we are ready for Saturday.
Let me also bring in Kwesi Kwarteng, and he's with the Kennedy Japan campaign team. Good evening. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight. I'm asking, why are you with your campaign, and are you winning on Saturday?
Good evening to you. As of now, we are almost ending with our campaign. You know our candidate climax's campaign in his constituency, that is Access Central. But as of now, we are all in Accra making campaign arrangements. You know, campaign moves with resources, campaign moves with logistics, campaign moves with human resources and coordination. And those are the arrangements that we are doing from the national campaign team. At the moment, the candidate is engaging in some very crucial and serious meetings that has an impact on the campaign. But I am confident that everything that we are doing, hopefully by 31st of January, which is Saturday, Ken is going to come out victorious. That I have that full confidence.
Kwesi Kwarteng, stay on there. Let me bring in Dixon Adomaku Kisi. You're with the Brian Champon campaign. How confident are you of carrying the day? Well, unfortunately, we don't have Dixon Adomaku Kisi. He's the spokesperson for the Brian Champon campaign team. Earlier, you heard me speak to Dennis Miracles Abuaje, spokesperson for the Bawumia team, and Kwesi Kwarteng. He speaks for the Kennedy Japan campaign team. You're listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's time for business, and George Uefi has the latest. George?
Well, coming up...
I was wondering why you were quiet.
I was waiting for you to land before I also set in. So that was why. Since you were still taxiing on the runway before you take off. Well, coming up in business, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers warn crude prices could hit $100 a barrel if the current tensions between U.S. and Iran is not resolved soon. Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama defends gold reserves reduction, insisting it was part of his portfolio diversification strategy for the bank. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. Sinter's Tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
Welcome, contestants, to the final round. Winner takes all. For 1,000 points, all you have to do is give me the correct answer to the following riddle. I am one place, but with the right connection, I can be 1,000 other places. Some people call me magic. Some people call me a feeling. In me, you can be anything you want to be. I'm the most common and yet the rarest place in the whole world. What am I?
A church.
Oh, wrong. Contestant 3, what's your answer?
The answer is home.
Correct! Congratulations to our winner. Contestant 3.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Hey, Anjua. Challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. Hey. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. Oh, okay. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I dey your side, Fidelity.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years' experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery, and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school, a farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, syntax no break. When the rain they fall, still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is warning that crude prices could hit $100 a barrel. That is, if the current tensions between U.S. and Iran is not resolved soon. This was after crude prices today shot up by some significant margin to hit $70 a barrel due to America's warnings to strike Iran. Duncan Amor argues that this could impact on prices at the pumps locally in the coming weeks.
I would caution officials or authorities in Ghana not to go to sleep. Keep an eye on these developments because they portend some danger to all of us. The Ghanaian market, as I speak with you, is also oversupplied currently. Most of your tanks are full. And so it will look to us as though we are okay, we are comfortable now. But truth is, if these tensions are to escalate, global energy costs would surge in no small measure. Even the threat of U.S. On Iran has seen 2%. So you can imagine what a direct conflict or attack would mean overnight as far as global energy cost is concerned. We should begin thinking of, getting what you will call strategic stock levy so that we can expand our tanks locally, be able to store a lot more in anticipation of these pressures that may arise from the international market space.
Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama has strongly defended his decision to reduce the gold reserves during last year. Fresh data from the Bank of Ghana showed the gold reserves dropped from 38 tons in October to 18.6 tons in December 2024. However, some industry persons have raised concerns about the decision, the margin of depletion and timing. But speaking at the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, the governor noted that the move was needed.
At the last MPC, I remember we spoke about a rebalancing of our portfolio. And what we did was to look at our peers, our peer countries. We observed that most of them were holding between 20 and 25% of their portfolios, as gold. At the time, we were holding a little over 40%. And so decision was made to diversify, and that is what you see. But the FX that was earned as a result is there. It is earning, dividends. And so it is contributing to reserve accumulation. And so no worries at all. And as you are aware, we are building all the time. We are rebuilding all the time. And so this year, we will reaccumulate once again. We'll be down to that level. And we will ascertain, we'll evaluate whether it will be optimal to hold it at those levels. And maybe let me just clarify. It is true gold prices have risen to record levels, way above 5,200, I'm told. You have to understand that there are several factors that drive gold prices. Some of these factors are transitory. Some are structural. Now, what you see at 5,200 may be more of transitory factors. It may not be permanent.
Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama. Some players in the microfinance sector fear they might not be able to meet the new capital requirement by the end of this year. The Bank of Ghana has raised the minimum capital requirement to up to 50 million Ghana cedis for existing players at the end of this year, whilst new entrants might have to pay up to 100 million Ghana cedis. Chief Executive Association of Savings and Loans Chinebua Kodiabwache says the timing could be described as challenging.
You want to ask yourself that if a microfinance company as at now was supposed to have a minimum paid up capital of 2 million, and then within 11 months, such an institution is supposed to raise 50 million Ghana cedis within 11 months, then it should tell you that even if they are able to do it, then the timing is something that will worry a number of institutions. And so generally the market players embrace the reforms. The market players accept that there's a need for some kind of reforms to strengthen the whole market. But we are of the view that the timing is something that the central bank will have to consider.
Chief Executive of the Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Chinebua Kodiabwache. The Managing Director of Coronation Insurance Ghana, Dr. Yao Adom-Boateng, says they are committed to coming up with products aimed at improving insurance penetration in the country. This was after the company today launched this pay-as-you-earn motor insurance for the market. Speaking to Joy Business after the launch, the Managing Director noted that the current development in the economy warrant these products.
Pay-as-you-earn motor insurance enables customers to buy motor insurance by paying either on a monthly, quarterly, or up to a 6 months period. So there's flexibility. Instead of having to pay upfront, you have the option of paying for your insurance premium over a 3, 1 month, or 6 months duration. The flexibility makes it completely different from the traditional one. Traditional one requires you to pay upfront, but this one gives you the option to spread over a 3 months, 6 months period. You're actually buying a policy for that duration. Second value proposition is about convenience. This product is available only digitally on our ecoronation.com platform. So the traditional ones, you can walk into our office and have it purchased. But this one, from the comfort of your home or anywhere in the world that you are, you just log on ecoronation.com, fill in the details, make payment online, and the documents get emailed or by text sent to you immediately.
Managing Director of Coronation Insurance Ghana, Dr. Yao Adom. To the stock market, if you were a shareholder in Calbank, it was up by 5 pesos to close at 81 pesos. That of GCB Bank was up by a peso to close at 22 Ghana cedis, 6 pesos. And on PM Express Business Edition tonight, we're looking at the gold sector. Rising prices of gold, it has crossed more than $5,000 an ounce. And government is pushing to get more from the sector. But some of the players argue that, well, it's early days here to be engaging the chief executive of the Chamber of Mines, that is Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, to get his thoughts on all these issues. It has 9 p.m. on Joy News and all our social media platforms.
George Yafe, thank you so much for bringing us business. Let's bring you other stories now. And climate change is taking a heavy toll on Ghana's savannah region, with rising temperatures and erratic rainfall degrading farmlands and drying up water sources. As the Sahara gradually advances southward, pressure on land and water has intensified, heightening competition between local farmers and migrant herdsmen. There is more in today's episode of Climate Evidence.
Once green farmlands now crack under the sun's heat, while rivers and streams dry up long before the next rainy season arrives. Here, the changing climate is forcing people into desperate choices and turning neighbors into rivals. When large herds of cattle arrive, trampling crops in search of pasture and water, the result is anger and catastrophic loss. The General Secretary of FUBE in Ghana, Yakubu Musabari, argues that the herders are victims of circumstance.
This climate change issue that drives them away from wherever they are coming from, entering a land that they are not familiar with. Definitely without adequate policy or either instructions or guide. That is how you see sometimes these animals go astray to enter farms.
When I farm, I have 14 bags of maize. The next year, I have 10 bags. So this year, I decided to say that maybe the way I have to add some of the acre. Unfortunately, When I farmed this year, these animals keep inside and destroyed some of the maize.
On the other hand, Musa Jallo, a migrant herdsman from Mali, speaks on his desperate journey. For Jallo, the open land is meant for all. The only consensus-driven, long-term solution to end open grazing and prevent any further bloodshed is the establishment of controlled modern livestock ranching facilities. The Savannah Regional Minister strongly supports the model.
Private investor can come, be able to provide that facility, of course for a fee, for the number of cattle that will be under his or her control. And this can be another way, because when you provide it, you must provide water. The animals, apart from grazing, must have water to feed. Some wells may be dug or some dams may be constructed. And all this is something that we can think through to be able to have a better way of harnessing the animals.
As one elder put it during a community meeting, when the land fights back, no one wins.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
And we'll be bringing you sports news shortly. But before that, commuters on the Media to Kotoku Road in the Ganwasi municipality are familiar with the challenges associated with plying that stretch. At the heart of it is the Ajin Kotoku market, the onion trading hub in Greater Accra. The traders lament that customers are hesitant to visit, and the poor road is pushing up the cost of doing business. In today's feature series, Roads of Peril, I visited the area and filed this report.
From Ajin Kotoku, looking Accra, Medina, and the rest, is very short distance. But due to the bad nature of the road, we are suffering.
At the Ajin Kotoku Onion Market in the Gawes municipality, Osman Mohammed Sidi plies his trade. He sells onions transported from northern Ghana and neighboring countries. He and hundreds of other traders were relocated here from the Agbeglochi market as part of a decongestion exercise. But years on, access to the market remains a major challenge.
Road linking from Three Junction to Ajin Kotoku, Media to Ajin Kotoku. Even when Mr. President, when he came during the campaign, he came to Ajin Kotoku here. We made that concern to him that, Mr. President, the former government, they promised us that they are bringing us to Ajin Kotoku. We made a lot of complaints, and the roads are the key this thing, which is linking the customers to the onion market. But yes, still, they didn't do it. And Mr. President too, John Mama, who also came to the Ajin Kotoku market to come and do his campaign, we made this complaint to him. We've been complaining several times that the road, there are a lot of onions here, but the customers are not coming. If you come, even the drivers, if they come, they said you want to carry the load from Ajin Kotoku to, let's say, link Agbuloshi or Medina, they will charge huge amount due to the bad nature of the road. If not because of that, onion to link from Ajin Kotoku, linking Accra, Medina, and the rest is very short distance. But due to the bad nature of the road, we are suffering. We need the government to come into it. We are suffering.
Osman is not alone. Fellow trader Zeba Abdul Samad shares the same sentiment.
Our main problem is the road, because there are a lot of people from Kasua to this place. Because of the road, they don't come, especially from Trade Junction to this market. The road is very, very bad. You see, at times when it rains, it's not easy. So that's our problem. From Media Junction to this place to the same thing, rough road.
But it is not only the traders who are affected. Drivers and commuters who use the road say its poor condition has made travel increasingly difficult.
It delays our movement. Then also, before you get back to wherever you're going, you get tired. You have waste problems. And, at least they should fix it for us. If not the asphalt, the normal ones, I think it will be okay. And you can imagine the stress that you pass through.
Beyond the market, the mid-year Ajay Kotoku stretch serves as a key access road to several factories. The poor state of the road slows the movement of trucks supplying goods to these businesses. At the Kotoku Electoral Area Office, Assembly Member Udate Mohammed admits the state of the road is stifling development and discouraging new investment.
When the road is done, for first one, the industries, I think their business is going to grow. A lot of other companies will come and buy their products. Because of the road, a lot of companies are willing to come to some of the companies, but because of the road, they are not coming. They are comparing it to a place that the road, it's good for them, so that at least going to a mechanic or doing maintenance will be less. So it's my dream that when the road is constructed, the companies from Media to Kotoku, their business is going to boom. And I'm praying that the road should be fixed.
He also points to steps being taken to address the issue.
I remember the last assembly meeting, I asked a question to Engineer Edrin. He works with the urban roads. I said, Honorable, when is the road going to be fixed from Media to Kotoku? He said, Honorable, your road is 4.2 kilometers. We are waiting to come and do a feasibility studies. When the feasibility studies is done, I can assure you that the road will be fixed.
For traders and commuters, they say until repairs are done, the challenges along the mid-year Ajay Kotoku road will persist. For Joy News, I am Ofori. And it's time to bring you sports news. I have here Benaya Dafiamekbo.
I like the way you mentioned the name.
Well, let's talk about the Joy Films big workout, which is happening in just 2 days. Yes.
During the Christmas, like Papani and the likes, they
and
were
you
chilling. I didn't really chill that much.
Really?
But okay, let me see. Okay, I'll include myself.
Yeah, but you put on some weight, so it's time
roaming around, Republic, Rapaholic. I saw Papani at Muzamandi school. I saw somebody like him though. So, it's time to burn some calories and all that. Yeah.
And you have to burn some calories too.
I think so. I think so. I'll take that one. I can't refuse that fact. So, ahead of the event, we've been inviting certain personalities and dignitaries. And one of them is the Roads Minister, who is Honorable Governor Kwame Agboja. And he's been urging Ghanaians to take advantage of this opportunity and to improve their health.
I want to congratulate the Joy FM for this workout thing. All of us should be finding space to do some physical exercise to avoid some of the diseases, lifestyle diseases we get. So I think it's a very good thing, and I wish all of us would take a cue from that and get some time to do some physical exercise. It will help a lot. So.
And he's not the only one. It's going to be a big event. So other key figures have also been gunning for the event.
Come, let's walk, dance, connect, and sweat it all out on Saturday, 31st of January at the Lagos Sports Stadium. My guy, if you come with your friends, your family, or even your pets. Hey, did I say your pets? Yay! Man, can you cry? Now your pet there the other day. Anyway, my name is KMJ, the Royal Host, and I am definitely coming on Saturday, and I want to see you there. I've got my sneakers ready, and you have to get yours. The Joy FM Big Workout 2026. It's the big workout.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the big workout on January 31. We're meeting at the University of Ghana Stadium. Joy FM bringing together the whole country. We start there 6 a.m. sharp, walk around East Lagos, come back and do some aerobics, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I need to see you there.
All right, so that's it. And for for those who just want to know, it's going to be a free event, so the public are invited. Come, let's do some aerobics, walk and all that. Yeah.
And it starts at 6 a.m. at the Legon Sports Stadium. Yes. And that's it for Newsnight. But before we go, let me bring you some of the comments. Musa Abatwa in Asawasi says the OSP should spare the public the unnecessary ballistic rhetoric and rather up his game. He says, since assuming office, his inability to successfully prosecute corrupt officials has only fueled perceptions that he's either doing the bidding of officials from past government or simply exhibiting gross incompetence. Ghanaians deserve action, not noise, you say. This one from Nane Kuamwa Boateng in Ablikma Central says, it is trite knowledge that Dr. Balmia remains the obvious choice for the MPP in order to win power in 2028. My name is Ofori. Thank you for listening.